Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. Today we return to talking about liberal governors and how they're ruining their states across this country. Some might have forgotten, but the pandemic is still going on, even though most have talked about other things by now. But yes, the virus and this health scare is still plaguing the country and the world, and some states are actually still shut down over it. Granted, a lot of states have opened up and it's become a political thing. The red conservative states have reopened. The blue Democratic ones are staying closed because they want to crash the economy, ruin the election, blah, blah, blah. We all know the story, but that's besides the point for today. Today we're talking about New Mexico and how their governor won't follow their own rules. They've closed their state and said stores need to stay closed as long as possible, but the governor doesn't seem to want to follow their own rules. Classic case of it's okay when liberals do it, you betcha. That's what we cover here on the show. That's what we like talking about. We love slamming these libs every way possible, and today's no different. This article has more details. It comes from AP. It says, New Mexico governor slammed for buying jewelry amid closures. Yeah, real important stuff here. She had to go get herself some jewelry. Oh yeah, real important. And this, of course, is another liberal governor, another woman in charge with the Democrats doing terrible things. This trend we've seen time and time again. It's a bad thing because they're just not following their own rules. They don't really care about safety. The lockdown is not really about protecting people. That's what this shows. It shows that it's okay for these people to do it. The liberals say something in the public, but do different things when they think it's private. A lot of times they get exposed, though, as we're talking about, and as this story is going to go over today. It says, Democratic Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham is facing criticism for a jewelry purchase from a store in Albuquerque after she ordered the closure of all non-essential businesses. The governor's office said the transaction was done remotely and didn't violate the order, but Republicans are calling the behavior hypocritical and dishonorable, saying it exemplifies recent weeks of inequitable treatment of small businesses at a time when the governor was telling people to only go out for essential items. This was really disgraceful, especially since many people have been hurting for so long, said Steve Pierce, chairman of the state Republican Party. Now, already we're seeing some good points. I think AP is trying to side with the Democrats as much as they can, but this obviously looks bad. You can't go and say something in public, tell people to do something, and then you go and do the opposite. I mean, that's just not being a hypocrite 101, but liberals just apparently they don't care about how they look. They don't care about having standards and being respectful and doing what everyone else does. They think they're above the law. They think they're above everything. They think they're better than everyone. They think the masses are these sorts of dumb people that just don't understand things and they want to treat them like crap. And that's just not the way to go. We're talking about Americans. We're talking about people in New Mexico, all kinds of places across the country. But today it's New Mexico. And today we're talking about this terrible leader who went to buy jewelry, like the least important thing ever. Why do you need jewelry? Why do you need a necklace, a ring, a earring? You know, none of this stuff is important. A bracelet, you had to break quarantine because of a bracelet. I think it just goes to show that not only do liberals think it's okay when they do it, but they also think not so highly of this idea that the virus is scary. I mean, if they were really scared, I know she said they did this remotely, so it was like delivered or something, but even so, like if the virus was really that scary, you would follow all the rules. You wouldn't be ordering stuff that's not necessary. You would just be doing the bare minimum to stay safe. But we can see now, if the leaders don't think they're scared of this virus, then why should we? I mean, I'm not saying it's totally over. It may never be over, but the fact that these guys will come out and do stuff like this and still shop and get around, it goes to show it's not really as bad as they claim. Many small businesses have been forced to close due to the economic fallout of the pandemic. The state's unemployment rate has skyrocketed more than 150,000 claims for jobless benefits. The state has levied fines against some businesses and set up a hotline for people to report potential violators. The jewelry purchase was first reported by Albuquerque television station KRQE. It said Lujan Grisham called an employee at Lily Barak in April and bought jewelry over the phone. The management said the employee went to the store, got the jewelry, and placed it outside the door of the store, where someone who knew the governor picked it up. While curbside delivery wasn't allowed until earlier this month, the governor's office claims no rules were broken. So this curbside delivery wasn't even allowed at the time. This was back in April, apparently a little bit ago, but it's still an interesting story that's popping up and finally getting some traction. That's why we need to cover it and talk about it. And sure, it's not the most groundbreaking thing. It's just, this is a leader of a state that's trying to stay shut down. And if they can't keep it together, why are we even shutting down? Why is this person in charge? Why do they keep electing these liberals? I mean, New Mexico, I don't think is a necessarily starkly left or right state. I think it might be a swing state or a purple state. But either way, they should be reconsidering this hire. This person is definitely hypocritical, definitely has ulterior motives. And what is up with the jewelry? Why do you even need jewelry that much? I mean, I understand girls wear things from time to time, but the fact that this had to happen here and had to break rules and come out from the governor, I mean, the governor should be busy, right? Why are they having jewelry? Like, is she getting a bracelet for a kid or something? I don't get it. The store was never opened and a good, safe process was followed, spokeswoman Nora Myers-Sackett said. An employee of the store left the merchandise outside her home and a personal friend of the governor's went there to pick it up. Lujan Grisham's office first said it was a campaign staffer, then later said it was a governor's friend, but wouldn't release a name. So theirs goes to show there's some debate about who actually picked it up. I think the staffer suggestion was something that became controversial on its own, so they said it was a friend later. I think it was probably the same person. They just changed what they called them. It was likely someone that worked for the person, the governor. And the fact of the matter is, using a staffer to go pick yourself up jewelry during a pandemic, it's layer upon layer of dumb. It's so dumb. It's so bad. It's so cringy. I mean, come on. First of all, you're using your staff to do personal errands. I mean, that happens. Okay, we know these leaders, these guys run things 24/7. If you're in charge of a city, of a state, of anything with a big purview, with a lot going on, millions of people are there, that's happens. I get it. But the problem is, this is politics. So if you were, say, a millionaire or some kind of business runner, like if you're a billionaire on the show Billions and you have your guys do yourself little favors, that's fine because you're paying everyone. This is your job, your company. You have the money. But if you're a politician, you're getting donations and you're getting money from the Democratic Party and from campaign fundraisers, and then that money goes towards some assistant picking up your jewelry, that gets more questionable. That gets really kind of like a misuse of resources. People could question the governor and how they're running the office. And then on top of that, we got another layer. We're talking about doing this during the pandemic. So there's possible risk of someone catching a virus. They're sending this staffer out in the thick of it. You know, I know it's just a pickup. I know they said it looks like it was a cold drop pickup at someone's house, but there's still risk. I mean, if you really were scared about this virus, you wouldn't be risking it, especially just for jewelry. And then they're risking their staffer, who now is supposedly a friend. I mean, this is all questionable. And it's bringing us layer upon layer of silliness to this really bad story that exposes a lot of things. It exposes liberal hypocrisy, and it exposes the fact that the lockdown really isn't about keeping people healthy. They're not as scared as the virus as they claim. When asked by the AP about the purchase, Lujan Grisham's office did not say whether the governor received special treatment. The office said the purchase was made by the governor with her own money and in her capacity as a private citizen. KRQE reported that other businesses like Mark Diamond's Jewelers did not interpret the orders the way the governor's office did. A manager at Gertrude Zachary told the station no one was allowed in that store and they feared fines. They thought online sales were their only option, but they got zero customers and lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales. So these are the other companies complaining, showing that they got screwed over while this company that the governor preferred got special treatment. That's a good argument too. That's showing that this governor is favoring a certain diamond or a certain jewelry place over another. These other ones wanted to sell too. Maybe they could have done these drops, these deliveries and stuff if they could. I mean, that sounds kind of strange to do with jewelry now that I think about it, but it's possible. I mean, if people really want to jewel and buy jewelry during this pandemic, oh God, I don't even know. It's like trying to buy something so unuseful in the apocalypse. Like, what are you going to do with a diamond bracelet when the world's ending? You know, it doesn't make any sense. But this is the stuff we're dealing with. This is the hypocrisy. This is the kind of crazy side story that's going on in New Mexico. Terrible governor bringing terrible stories to the world. When asked about the two people who got the jewelry for the governor, her office said it was an unusual transaction. Of course, the governor has been telling people to stay at home to the greatest extent possible. It's also true she's been urging New Mexicans to find ways to support local businesses. Kind of contradictory premises, right? I mean, stay home, but also help businesses. I guess you have to order online on the phone, deliveries, but those still have risks to them. I mean, the delivery isn't 100%. You still have someone touching your item and then someone else touching it and bringing it to you. I mean, there's still risk there, and it goes to show they're not as extremely scared as they claim. They're closing stuff for other political reasons. We know that. We can see the way it goes state by state, government by government, left versus right. Like, it's Democrats versus Republicans. Republicans want to bring our country back and open things up and get the economy moving. People want to work. We want to do the right thing. Liberals want to shut things down. They want things to stop. They want businesses to close so they can run the country into the ground and hopefully win the election in November. Pick what side you guys want. I think you know where I stand, and I think you know the best place to stand. And unfortunately, liberals and this terrible governor in New Mexico, they've been called out, and this virus has exploited their weakness, their sort of vanity, their sort of, oh, I think I could do things even though it's not allowed for everyone else. And we're seeing it over and over again. That about wraps things up. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Do you think it's okay when liberals do it, or do you think they should be held to the same standards as everyone else? I think it should be fair. I don't think Democrats should get special treatment, but tell me what you think in the comments below. Also, hit that like button to help support this channel, and have a great day.